February 2024. A Russian Su-34 bomber screams toward Kherson carrying 3 tons of explosives. The pilot thinks he's invisible, radar off, flying silent, just another strike run. He's wrong. A Ukrainian Patriot battery has been watching him for 21 minutes, not with radar, with heat, and they're about to pull off the most dangerous interception of the war. 4:47 p.m. The Su-34 lifts off from Crimea. Pilot and weapons officer. Routine mission. Strike Kherson. Back for dinner. Under the wings, 2 Fab 1500 bombs, 1.5 tons each, enough to flatten a city block. The bomber climbs to 24,000 feet. Threat warning receiver? Clean. Electronic warfare systems? Active. Nothing to worry about. What the pilot doesn't know, 90 kilometers away, a Ukrainian Patriot commander is watching every move, not with radar. That would give away his position. With passive infrared. The bomber's engines burn at 800 degrees. To the Patriot sensors, it's a bonfire in a dark room. But here's the problem. Passive tracking gives you direction, not precision. To shoot the bomber down, the Patriot needs active radar. And active radar is a death sentence. The moment that radar turns on, every Russian sensor within 100 miles will know exactly where it is. Artillery, drones, rockets, all heading for that one position. Fire and you die. Don't fire and Kherson burns. The commander makes his choice. 5:15 p.m. Bomber at 24,000 feet, 88 kilometers out, 8 minutes from weapons release. Patriot radar goes active. 3 seconds, just long enough to get a firing solution. Radar goes dark. But 3 seconds was too long. Overhead, a Russian reconnaissance drone catches the transmission. Unmistakable signature. Not just any radar. Patriot. Within 60 seconds, Russian FPV drones start probing the tree line. Cheap suicide drones with cameras. Flying grenades hunting a billion-dollar air defense system. Ukrainian jamming trucks light up, knock the first drone out of the sky. Then the second. Then the third. But every time they jam, they broadcast their position. The Russians are mapping the defensive Bubble 1 down drone at a time. Then the artillery starts. BM-21 Grad rockets. 40 tubes. All fired in under 10 seconds. The rockets land 1,000 meters north, close enough to shake the ground, not close enough to hit. But the Russians are bracketing. Next salvo will be closer. Ukrainian counter battery fires back. The Russian launcher displaces, but it'll be back. On his screen, the Patriot commander watches the bomber closing. 60 kilometers, 5 minutes to weapons release, 1 more radar pulse, and he'll have a firing solution. But this time, the radar can't go dark, because Patriot missiles need continuous radar guidance. Turn off the beam and the missile goes blind. It's a spotlight in a gunfight. Aim it at the target, and everyone sees you. The commander gives the order anyway. 5:21 p.m. Patriot radar goes active. This time it stays on. First missile roars off the rail. The radar beam tracks the bomber, guides the missile, but also tells every Russian unit exactly where to shoot. In the Su-34 cockpit, the radar warning receiver explodes with noise. Fire control lock, missile inbound. The pilot throws the aircraft into a 6G brake turn. The weapons officer activates jamming pods, deploys chaff, thousands of metallic strips confusing the radar. The first missile detonates 60 meters away. Fragments pepper the fuselage, warning lights flash. But the bomber stays airborne. The pilot faces a choice, abort or press the attack. He presses. On the ground, the Patriot battery is tearing itself apart. Crews ripping data cables, vehicles hooking to launchers, preparing to run. But the radar stays on, because if it goes dark, the next missile goes blind. Second missile arrives. The bomber is lower now. 18,000 feet. Half its countermeasures spent. This one hits closer. Hydraulic warning. Engine temperature climbing. The aircraft is degrading. But still flying, still heading for Kherson, the Patriot commander makes his final call. Fire everything. 3 missiles. Rapid succession. Different angles. Turn to avoid the first and you fly into the second. Dive to avoid the second and the third has a clean shot. The bomber tries one last brake turn. Deploys its last chaff. The Patriot radar has 90 seconds of continuous tracking data. It knows exactly how this bomber moves, how its jammer works, where the pilot brakes. The radar isn't guessing anymore. 73 kilometers from target. 14,000 feet. The bomber is out of options. Airspeed dropping. Countermeasures dry. First missile detonates 15 meters from the left wing. Tungsten fragments shred the control surfaces, sever hydraulics, punch through the engine. Second missile hits below the fuselage. Flight controls vanish. The bomber rolls uncontrollably. The third missile never needs to arrive. The Su-34 comes apart over the Black Sea. Neither Fab 1500 releases. The strike on Kherson never happens. On the ground, the radar operator watches the target track disappear. The mast collapses. Engine already running. The battery scatters in 3 directions. Headlights off. Jamming trucks still running as they roll. 30 seconds later, Russian rockets plow into the empty tree line. By the time the rockets hit, the Patriots are 5 kilometers away, waiting for the next target. 21 minutes of patience, 90 seconds of radar time, 5 missiles, 1 city saved. This is modern air defense, not fire and forget, not safe behind the lines. It's a duel where both sides are trying to kill each other simultaneously. Shoot and the enemy knows where you are. Don't shoot and they win. The Patriot crew pulled it off because they understood the calculus. Expose yourself for 90 seconds. Kill the bomber. Run before the artillery arrives. The Russians had superior numbers, more drones, more artillery, but the Ukrainians had patience, discipline, and perfect timing. Sometimes that's all you need. 1 bomber down. 3 tons of explosives at the bottom of the Black Sea. 0 civilian casualties. The hunters were hunting the hunters. And the hunters won. What would you have done? Fired and risked your crew, or stayed silent and let the city burn? Drop your answer below and subscribe for more stories where tactics beat technology. This is Modern Limits, where we track the battles behind the battles.